Hi, you guys. So I have a read here that I would call like part 2 of my last read, which was on like the study of the notion of these black magic or paranormal psychic techniques that have been that certain CIA records have shown the Soviets have studied for a very long time in an attempt, to try to mind control people. And I'll give a quick recap. So the CIA docs through the years, tapping into paranormal psychic magic techniques for intelligence purposes. Last week, more CIA documents were released by a researcher who shared them on Twitter. She got them through the Freedom of Information Act. I put a link in the notes of an article that is covering it. If you're interested, it's not being covered by big newspapers, so judge for yourself. But I have seen no reason to doubt the authenticity. And the documents show that as late as 1977, the U.S. was monitoring a Soviet intelligence group devoted to collecting information on black magic capabilities of sorcerers, witches, incantations, psychotronic generators, all these other things that you would just put under the heading of like malicious mind control techniques to use on their people or other people, maybe our people. So like on that read, I felt like I got a yes answer on that being used. Sure, yes. And then I woke up and I saw Mueller in my head the next morning, and I was like, I didn't even connect it. And I thought, oh, yeah, we'll read on Mueller. And then I thought, wait, does Mueller know about like all that creepy stuff and technique? And I'm like, is it in the Mueller report? Is it in the unredacted parts of the Mueller report? And I thought about how some of the redactions they said were to protect people's reputations. And a lot of people objected to that because it's really not Bill Barr's call to protect reputations. This is supposed to be information for the American people to know what happened in the 2016 election. And so I wanted to read on this. Does the Mueller report have this stuff, this language being used in the Mueller report? One thing I will say is that I kind of got into this feeling that I have had through this crazy time since the Russians started, like with the bots and the fake news articles and all this massive like attack on our internet, that I would get this weird kind of buzz and feeling in my head, and I would joke around. Even some of these New Age channels, which someone noted was something they also studied, how to create these cults. Ugh, see, I get the feeling even just talking about it. This sort of buzzing or negative pressure, like a disturbance. And I would joke with people like, I think they're using black magic in these, these bots. I don't know how they do it, And so that really struck me when I saw that these new documents released. And but I will say that also some people know more than I do about how this would ever work. I don't know if energy could be directed over the internet, if I was picking up on something else. But one thing I do know is that we don't need to know. For our purposes at this time, this reading told me, like, don't worry about whether it's real. Don't worry, it's not going to matter. What's going to matter is malicious intent. That was the word I kept getting over and over. They would put these words like black magic and sorcery in quotations, and that the people doing it would have created different words, spin these words to the positive to make it seem like ways to encourage people to join our movement. It's like, but if this all would track back to malevolent intelligence methods derived and borrowed, maybe even given by a hostile foreign country who believes it works, and that the campaign hoped for these things to work on Americans, harming their ability to make decisions, that would be the major revelation. The revelation would be the malicious intent. Doesn't matter if it works, how it works, to what extent it could work, or if it works at all. The malicious intent is what matters. And so I know there's a judge right now who has the Mueller report and has the right to unredact anything that he feels doesn't need to be redacted. I hoped that I would see this judge in this reading. I have to say I didn't see him. It doesn't mean that he's not going to be the one. and I don't know if I said this, but I also did feel like my black magic read had so many cards from the next 30 days read. They were all upside down. There's a whole weird thing about it. I think this might actually be a part 3. So I would say that stuff's coming out in the next 30 days. I hope it comes out in the next 30 minutes. And, you know, if we get into ugly things in here, remember that, like, to get to, you know, in our path on the moment of truth, there's going to be some ugly things that come up. Oh, yeah, I wanted to share that I woke up this morning with this song, American Woman, in my head. And it's crazy because it's all about hypnotizing minds. And over and over it says, American woman, gonna mess your mind, gonna mess your mind. Like, it keeps saying, gonna mess your mind, gonna mess your mind, gonna mess your mind. And I was like, and I knew to write down that song when I woke up with it in my head. And that was like in the middle of the night. I have another song I woke up with this morning that is super positive, and I'll share with you when we get to the person that I believe it's relating to. So let's get into the cards. What I see here when I ask, does the Mueller report know this stuff? I see Mueller here. I don't feel him active in the rest of this, so I feel this is telling us, like, he wrote the report, because, you know, part of it was not just about the report, like, does Mueller know? And it was like, and then I went to, like, wait, is it in the Mueller report? Is it redacted? Anyway, here's Mueller. What I see, though, actively is the Intelligence Committee, okay? And this card makes me feel so good and positive. And then here, covering it, and it came out upside down, the Hermit upside down tells me, like, you've got the Intelligence Committee trying to unredact. This would be right side up. We can't see the stuff. They want to get things unredacted. And again, not to prove magic, but to prove malicious intent. And that, I believe, is what they're fighting for in courts. And I feel like they got there, because I saw Schiff yesterday on a clip of him on a news show, and he looked like a different person to me. He looks like something has lifted. He had a lightness and a glowing to him. So that makes me feel like something's ready to come out. And that makes me so happy. So here we're going to get into some ugly stuff. We've got someone mentioned in the comments Cambridge Analytica, and I was chatting with her and said, yes, Cambridge Analytica, that seems exactly right. And also I remember feeling like Steve Bannon would have been involved in this, because doesn't he just feel like the most cruddy black magic kind of person? And by the way, and so, yeah, I see him here. Steve Bannon, if you watch SNL, the costume they have, the whole character of Steve Bannon is just death, walks on stage, and everyone goes, hey, what's up, Bannon? So it's so hilarious that it's right here. I think he would have been bringing this kind of, like, you know, hey guys, I've got this access to this intelligence from, you know, Russia or whatever, and wouldn't it be cool? And he'd be the one to try to spin it as, like, everyone does it in some way, and just, like, whatever. He brought this shit in. Not only do I see this as, yeah, that Cambridge Analytica stuff, the campaign, I see it also, it's still happening now. No surprise. We see exactly all this strange stuff still in our, just affecting our world. Something's got to give, you guys, its time. And this is the success that they had in that campaign, using all these techniques. I really hated to see this, because I saw the coronavirus, I think in the last read as well. It keeps coming up, and we do see, you know, like someone mentioned, like, yeah, it's Putin who wants to hurt America. Of course, yes, that's good point. I don't know if that needs to be said. Yes, and the Knight of Swords, though, I see as the sort of soldiers out there. Like, you find out that some of these protests that are happening are started by like I think one guy formed like a bunch, like 20 of them in Florida. Okay, I'm making up those numbers, but it's something like that. Like, and that is what they did in 2016 also. And these would be like Russians who are creating American protests. This is like what they do, and these are these knights out there, and I feel this as an evil knight, and I feel them using this coronavirus to make more people sick. The just pleasure there, and then you've got the quote president of the United States, encouraging this and working with the bots. I mean, can we please wake up and see now that they're all working together? It's time to see this. And they are using this illness to try to make more people sick, to try to hurt the economy more. For, like, the better for them, the more sick and, like, screwed up our country becomes. And I don't want to like worry you, and I don't want to say that the economy is, like screwed or anything at all. I'm just saying that's the intent. And it's so malicious and so disgusting. And it's out there and it's happening. And not, I'm just saying it's in the read. I don't know why. I mean, maybe it's starting to make things become more necessary to unredact some of this stuff, so that people can start to recognize some of these techniques and attacks. I don't know. Like, it's like something's got to give, because this is so and that the president is just chilling to the bone, and it's like we all psychically kind of feel all this. We just need to see it in writing. We need that stuff to be unredacted so that we can like stop just feeling crazy, or like we can hope that other people will wake up to what's happening. Stop listening to these bots and these things that are telling you to go outside and be in groups. You're being manipulated, you're being tricked. And if these techniques are in the Mueller report, we really need to see them now. The world, so the goal, sure, world domination, taking over the world with the criminal, kind of criminal gang of world leaders, or, maybe it's just Putin wanting to take over the world. Just trying to be like got the magician, but anyway. But also know in a positive that world unity and coming together is the worst fear. It's the worst thing that could happen to them, is if we wake up and see and take our world back from them, which we will and we are going to. And I see this Queen of Pentacles. I saw her in the last read here, I think, and I see as Rebecca Mercer. I don't know why I feel like I have to whisper that name, like I'm gonna get in trouble for saying it, but and interestingly, so that makes perfect sense, because she was involved in she's like a Bannon friend, like they were associates. They brought in like a Cambridge Analytica, I believe, or at least behind Breitbart. That's a good example of like that whole website, and those articles have such a creepy energy to them. I don't know if I'm picking up on some trick they're putting out there, and that some people are attracted to this energy and others get repelled by it. I don't know if that's a possibility when it comes to, energy and magic. But besides that, again, that stuff doesn't matter as much as the intent to harm. If they can see that in the documents, to harm, deceive Americans, that's what we need to see. I see her upside down here. She is probably maybe she's the name that has been redacted, that's going to be unredacted. Maybe they're trying to help her, protect her reputation, because maybe she with Bannon brought in some of this really dark, disturbing, ambitions, sort of mind control of people ambitions. I see this upside down. I'll say at the bottom of the deck at this moment, I have this King of Rods. And I'm like, oh, good, here's Adam Schiff. Adam Schiff is here. He's on all of this. I feel such a good, positive energy, and it made me wonder, is he talking with her? Is he behind what's about to become, what I think is about to become unredacted? Did she flip? I mean, the card's upside down. Did she flip, or is that just telling us there's something unredacted that's and she's here at the final result. I think something will come out with her, or she has flipped and is talking. This card tells me she's out of time. There's no more waiting and putting things off. She's out of time. The Magician card I feel here as a positive, strong. I mean, the Magician is the strongest card in the deck, and I'm feeling it so positive here, and I feel it as the Mueller Report. I think that we have all these different elements, and we have only seen bits and pieces of the report, and we need to see more. And so I think we will see more. And there's a positive power behind that. And then at the end, I got a Queen of Rods underneath the deck. We've got a King and Queen of Rods. We know this is Schiff. Maybe this is Nancy or someone else in the Intelligence Committee working with him to expose these things, which to them, they are like arguing in courts or whatever as malicious intent by by the campaign, and the people deserve to see all of the wording, to see all of, what they were using, what they intended to do, whether or not they think it's possible or not, is the intent, the malicious intent there. Then the American people deserve to see it and know it. It's still happening now. People are dying. Oh my God, I think I just channeled Shift. Did you hear that? And by the way, so there was one more song I wanted to share, and it's such a positive song. I feel like it will cleanse you from whatever negative stuff you saw in here. It's the Walter Murphy Band, A Fifth of Beethoven, Saturday Night Fever. That song from Saturday Night Fever where John Travolta is walking down the street. So that is the song that was blaring through my head when I woke up this morning, and I was I thought of, and I just felt like that's Shift's song, okay? He's got this. So it's just such a fun song. Anyway, if you want to listen to it and think about Adam Schiff and send him that energy, and also just send that energy out there, we are ready to kick this stuff out. We're ready for the garbage to come up, to be seen, so we can clean this mess up. This is I have no idea if I'm right about any of this. Just a read that I'm getting, and it's working me up and getting me excited. I hope this stuff comes up, and I hope we're moving forward in these positive ways. And thanks for listening, or being there for me to share my reads, and let me know if you have any thoughts. And I'll see you next time. Bye.